is Rikki, and I'm an entrepreneur. Now you can say hi. Hi. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Social Services. This company consists of 12 different companies, and all these companies are really successful. To be honest, I have absolutely no clue why I'm here today. No, an event about failures and mistakes and me? No, it doesn't match. You know, you have seen me on TV. You have read about me in the papers. And still, you need me to educate you about failure? Doesn't match, because I'm freaking flawless. Maybe some of you right now is thinking, this guy standing up on stage, I don't know him, but he's such a douchebag. This Rikki, oh my God, who is he? He's saying that he's been on TV and everything. I actually have. I know it was in Norway. It's really true. I drive a really big car. It's a Hyundai. You know, we live in Denmark, so it's a big car in Denmark. But if you are a bit skeptical about me being so successful and never failing, I would say it's quite okay. I won't blame you. But this skepticism you have right now about me, do you have that when you are online, following other entrepreneurs? When you are following the favorite businesses that you follow? When you're looking at your peers, other entrepreneurs, looking at their stories or their successes? Are you just as skeptical? Because 90%, nearly 90, this was just a fact I invented right now, of all things that entrepreneurs say is about their successes. They don't tell you about all their mistakes. They don't tell you about when they fail. So when we drop in on Facebook and check all our peers, we see success. I remember when I started in 2013, I remember my first book published. I printed 1,000 books and I sold 70. That was a huge mistake. I thought, what a failure. And then I started looking around on other publishing houses, and they were really successful. They got great reviews. They were selling big numbers. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm so bad at publishing books. So I published a new one and printed 1,500 copies and sold 400. Damn, that was so terrible. I just committed the same mistake once more. So I printed the third book, and in 2,000 copies, now you're thinking, isn't he learning? No, I wasn't learning, because I was looking on Facebook and seeing all of these great publishers selling, and I was thinking, I have to break it. I have to learn. But I didn't. It was not until I really understood that every time I asked my fellow publishers, they were telling me all the do's, what they were doing in order for them to sell a lot of books. And I was then following the same path that they were doing. And I didn't sell anything. It's because what we call positive knowledge, all the do's of entrepreneurship, all the stories that we share, they are so subjective. They are so situational. I couldn't take the story of how one book was published and then just copy it, because that book had one author, one publishing house, one story, needed to be sold in a very specific way. I couldn't just copy that. I had to find my own path. What I really needed was all the negative knowledge in the business, all the don'ts, because the don'ts, they are universal. I could say to the first publishing house coming to me for advice, I could say, don't print 1,000 copies of your first book. That's a huge mistake. And if they followed that advice, they would be much better off than I was the first time I printed a book. So we need to understand that. So every time we go on Facebook and watch these terrific, really positive stories, we are learning jack shit. Of course we get a lot of positive stories, we need to focus on the negative knowledge. Because we have heard this before so many times, that we learn from failure. And we just doesn't only learn from our own failure, we learn from other people's failures as well. I would have loved if, when I started my publishing house, I would have gathered up with a bunch of publishers and they would have told me all the don'ts of publishing. I would probably have had a much bigger company right now than I have at this moment. And another thing that is really interesting here is that when we then go on Facebook and look at all these stories, we don't know if we want to start a company or not. And we are being bombarded with all these fantastic stories about people who do things. You know, to be honest, all the people who really do things, you know, the people that I looked at on Facebook 2 years ago, they're not in the business anymore, just so you know. But we look there on Facebook and then we can see that they are conquering the world. And when we think about, should we then conquer the world, we say, oh my God, no. If all the other guys are so great, what can I contribute with? What is my 5 cents here? Can I start a business? So the courage we need isn't being conveyed from the other fellow entrepreneurs. And that's a great shame. Because all of us in here wants to conquer the world, right? Or at least, I don't know, shitload of money. Or whatever drives your motivation. I don't know. What you of course have to ask yourself before making the leap is, why the fuck do you want to start a company? It's a really, really great question. And before you can ask that question, you cannot start to control your story. You cannot start to ask yourself whether or not you're becoming a failure or not, or a success. Because success is measured in so many different ways. I'm going to talk about that just a little bit later. One thing we just need, or we know for sure, is that we're going to be rejected so many times. And if we can't handle rejection, if we can't handle failure, you know, quit entrepreneurship. Quit it right now. One thing you need to start at, probably one of the best advice you can ever get in entrepreneurship, is what is called rejection therapy. If you haven't heard about rejection therapy yet, this will blow your mind. Today, right now, we will start. Close your eyes. Think about one thing that is very embarrassing to ask another person about. Something that when you know for a fact that you'll blush a bit when you ask them, and then promise yourself in this moment that when you go out from this room, you will find a person and you will ask him or her that question. Then you will be rejected. That's a given fact. But the more we do this, you can open your eyes again and watch me because I'm pretty fucking flawless, right? And then you can do this over and over again. You can set yourself up for rejection. This has been done a number of times, and you can follow some of the journeys on Instagram or YouTube and so on, and see very, very interesting stories about people who set themselves up for rejection therapy. And you should do it yourself. Because the better you can handle rejections, the better you'll become as entrepreneurs. Because it shifts your mind. If you are ready to take a rejection, the way you carry yourself when you ask a question, the way you respond when you ask a question, will be different. If you're not nervous to get the rejection, you will actually be surprised on how many times the rejection will come. It will be an invite to a discussion about where you should go. So start rejection therapy today. That's my number one advice. But talking about failure, the anatomy about failure is, it's kind of interesting. Because we can set ourselves up to be pretty in some eyes, you are a great failure, or what you do is a great failure, but in another person's eyes, you can be a great success. So who decides? Who decides is one of the questions you need to ask. Of course, you should be the number one decider of whether or not what you're doing is a failure. And if you can then change everything about what you're doing, change the metrics, change the benchmarking and so on, I'll talk about that just in a few moments, then you can set yourself up for great success even when other people think that you are a complete failure, a complete waste of time, or whatever. But it is a huge difference. Right now, in here, some of you might think I'm a great failure at speaking or at entrepreneurship or something else. And other people in here will say I'm a great success. It's in the eye of the beholder. I know that this guy, this book, will think that I'm a complete waste of time and my business is a complete disaster and everything else. I think it's kind of okay. Another thing you have to consider is the metrics that you're measuring your success by. Because it's all about the numbers. If I'm looking at my publishing house, and I'm only looking about on the turnover and the income, this publishing house sucks big time. Now we're losing money every freaking month. And then you will of course ask me, that's a completely different story by the way, what the fuck are you doing it then? You can come and ask me afterwards. But you could change the metrics and then turn it into a success. And we have actually done that because we're not measuring our success by the money that we are earning. We are measuring it by the number of books we are publishing. Wow, that's smart, right? Just changing the rules here. So instead of saying we want to earn 10 million Danish crowns this year, we're just saying we want to publish 50 books. And then if we publish 50 books, we'll be a great success in our eyes. Of course, it has a strategy and so on. It's bound in something much more complex than that. But it shows and it tells the story that it is the metrics that decides whether or not you're a success or not. And you can just change the metrics if you need something to be proven otherwise. This is why all entrepreneurs on Facebook have successes, right? Because if an entrepreneur is saying, I just boosted my number of customers by 100%. Yes, you got from 1 to 2. Yeah, it's really, really powerful, right? You can do a lot of different things just by changing metrics. You also have to consider benchmarking. Benchmarking is so important. If I'm taking my publishing house and I'm comparing it to Guerilla, Dreamlit will be just an awkward and terrible publishing house. If I'm comparing Dreamlit to every other publishing house that was started around 2013, this publishing house, my publishing house, is the biggest in Denmark, right? It is one of the fastest growing publishing houses in Denmark. Now it's becoming a success because I'm benchmarking it towards something that it really needs to be benchmarked against. If I'm looking to all the greater houses, I will feel a bit like Dave Mustaine. Maybe you know Dave Mustaine. This guy is the lead from Megadeth, a big metal band. He has sold, or Megadeth have sold, more than 50 million copies of their albums. So in my mind, he's a great success. But every time he's being interviewed, he cries. Because in his eyes, he's a big failure. Because he's benchmarking himself and Megadeth towards Metallica. Because he was thrown out of Metallica. So in his eyes, that whiny little bitch, he's a failure. Benchmarking is such an important thing. If you are benchmarking your business up against other businesses that looks like you have the right benchmark. If you want to be a success, you benchmark yourself towards smaller businesses, then it's really easy to be So this is, of course, what you have to consider. Every time you go on Facebook, Instagram, or whatever, and look at all these entrepreneurial stories, are they telling the truth, or are they just telling the truth about themselves that they want to convey to you? And it's also something you need to consider when you're telling a story about your future successes and failures. What do you want to achieve, and what do you want to tell the world? And if you know today, because I told you, that all the don'ts are more important for everyone else than all the do's, then do yourself and us and your peers the favor of conveying the truth, telling about all your failures, then everything will be a bit better. We will have more entrepreneurs, and we will have much more success together. But you, right now, just given what I told you, also have the